Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Another great day, another great topic. so I just did a video on the Great Schism, which we did the Great Western Schism, but we did a video on the Great Schism. But as I was looking for topics and ideas, I came across, which we already did. We did the last great general, Flavius Belisarius, the last great Roman general. And what I kind of want to do for this channel is kind of tie all the topics into each other. Because it's like, if you watch history and you go and you look, it's like everything's like this isolated thing. But as I'm discovering, as I'm making more videos and bringing them all to you, I'm discovering, and it's like, no, doll, this shit's connected. But you find that all of it's connected and everything kind of has something to do with everything. So today I kind of wanted to take a topic. So I did the video of the last great Roman general Belisarius. As I think I mentioned in the video, you had Procopius, who was Belisarius's personal secretary that saw all of his campaigns and everything, and then wrote a book which is like the history of the wars. And he also wrote a book about the buildings that Justinian did. But he also wrote the secret history, is what the book's called. He didn't publish this book. It was found 1,000 years later. He was probably too afraid to publish it because of Theodora and Justinian. But this is a very different story. Very damning, very salacious. Talking about Belisarius and his wife and Justinian and Theodora. Yeah. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about Procopius and his book, The Secret History. So before that, I want to remind you to smash the follow button, smash the like button, give me a comment and a like. I didn't mean to type that. That intro sounds a lot like somebody else's. Like, no, but that's what we're doing today. We're going to be going over the secret history. So come along with me. Let's go and see Candy Island. Let's go and talk about it. Alright. So, as we're talking about Belisarius, the last great Roman general, very tactician, genius on the battlefield, great guy, always loyal. I mentioned about his wife and everything, but with this secret history, you kind of, and you can take anything with a grain of salt, obviously. Everybody's biased. Even when I'm doing this, I'm giving you biased information. But Procopius was there. He was there for all of the campaigns, so everything he's writing about, he kind of has first-hand knowledge. Some of the comments he makes about Justinian, he says he didn't see himself, but, you know. So, but for the most part, it's like I kind of almost don't want to take this with a grain of salt because it's the real. All the other books that he published, like the history and the buildings, those were seen by Belisarius and Justinian. So obviously he's not going to put anything that like damns them in it. So it's like he had those, and this was like his secret. Like, oh my god, I just had to get this out and tell somebody. But tells of Antonina. Ugh, and Theodora, and Justinian. But he pretty much says that Belisarius was a total pushover. They had they had their godson that Belisarius adopted. Antonina was fucking this guy. What's that guy's name? What the fuck? Let's see somewhere. Theodosius. Damn it. So yeah, as we were talking about this, and as it pertains to Theodora, his wife, his great or no, Theodora was Justinian's wife. Antonina was Belisarius's wife, and she was fucking Theodosius. It says in that when they were in the same house, so under the same roof, Belisarius' wife was cheating on him with their godson. Very awesome. And he was like a total pushover. Great guy on the field, hanging dudes that killed their comrade, but he can't stop his wife. Is what it is, I guess. Bolt, you better stop. Yeah. What are you doing, dude? Lost in the sauce. I love you. It's all good. Let's do our Bolt cameo. There he comes. There he goes. All right. Love you, Boulder. You butt hurt. I love him, but sometimes he can get on my nerves. But yeah, so as we were talking about this, as it pertains to Belisarius and Theodora and Justinian, Procopius has some very damning words to say. He calls Justinian a demon. He's like he's a demon that his faces change and shift whenever he turns away. And this one guy swears he was looking at him and his face just turned into a blob without a face. And for Justinian and Theodora are twin devils sent by the are twin demons sent by the devil himself to destroy the human race with endless wars and corruption and everything else. Oh my god. But it's so Justinian was the godson or adopted godson of Justin the emperor before him, and he lived a lavish life. So Theodora was an actress, and it's like, if you know anything about actresses back then, those were like the lower rung of society. Those were like the prostitutes and the nasty people that Jesus himself would go hang out with. But the emperor shouldn't be keeping that company, you would think, but he did. Theodora started out as his mistress and then went on to become the empress, which is like, girl boss. Ooh, it's like, well, did you do any of that on your own? No, you were just behind him scheming and pulling strings. I don't know. Yeah, that's how women are, I guess. That's what they do, in a sense. But Antonina, Belisarius's lovely wife, came from that same stock. She was an actress, a bear handler's son, bearkeeper's son, bearkeeper's daughter. Very salacious. It said about Theodora that she would take 10 guys to dinner and sleep with all 10 of them, then move on to the servants, up to 30 in one night. This lady was just fucking everybody. Antonina was very well known that she was out fucking everybody. Like, and it even says in, contemporary sources about her unfaithfulness. So it's not like all of that is far-fetched. Luckily, the only bad thing he has to say about Belisarius is that he's a pushover. Which he kind of was. You can kind of see that. The man had the chance. If he would have taken the crown, both he could have had the Ostrogoth's crown and the Vandal crown, and he gave them both to Justinian. And literally the second one, Justinian demoted him and punished him for his great exploits. I don't know. I mean, it kind of goes, maybe he was really a demon. Who knows? But these books were written in the 500s, as we were talking about, but this book wasn't discovered till 1,000 years later. So it goes to show just how scared he was that he wouldn't publish it, but he still wrote it. I tend to lean towards that these things were more true than they weren't, But they claim that through endless wars, corruption, and heavy taxes, that Theodora and Justinian ruined the empire. Which, I mean, it had another 500 year golden age, so I don't think it was so bad. And to say Justinian was well, he kind of was. The Persians were up his ass. He took the initiative, I think, but I mean, you can say different things about history is written by the victors, obviously, So, but yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Do a little small deep, well, not a deep dive, but a small thing to talk about the secret history, because we covered Belisarius and how great he was and all his great exploits, great man. But, if this also other source exists, I think we should give it a little bit of a listen. A little bit of time, a couple minutes, and talk about it. Procopius, the secret history, and he had a bone to pick. He called them the twin devils sent by Satan himself to destroy the human race. You have to feel some type of way about that to write that, So, we thank Procopius for his books that have come down to it. And I want to thank you, dear viewer, for watching another video of mine. We are going to keep doing this, and I'm not Hindu, that's just a pimple that I ripped open. We're going to keep doing this, guys. I hope you come along with me. I hope you enjoy the videos. I know they're not the greatest quality. We're working with what we got, literally. That's what we're doing. So the budget is 0, so that's what we're doing it with. So I hope you enjoy. Have a good day. Like, subscribe. See ya.